All right.
Punk Welly.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Transformers, the late night Transformers podcast. I'm your host, James, also known as Victory Saber 77. I'm here with pretty much the main. I'm going to call you guys co-hosts because you guys are pretty much here all the time. And if you guys want to introduce yourselves, we'll start with Chris.
Sorry. But yeah, you can find me at Barrett Prime Games on YouTube and Facebook, or any other game of Barrett Prime. Ask if I'm Chris, though have asked a couple of times how do you work out how many Chris's are there. I don't know, just risking, go from there.
Alright. Dakota.
I'm Dakota, blah blah blah, PrimalSabbath, blah blah blah.
On. And welcome back to the show, Jay.
Twitter at NemesisJazz13.
Cool. And Josh.
Oh, what's up, G1 Hextron? You can find me Twitter, YouTube, G1 Hextron, or Facebook page, the G1 Hextron. So.
And Punk Wiley.
Punk, you can check out my YouTube channel. I don't do much on there, but same name.
Sweet. All right, so we might have some other guests show up a little bit later, but we're gonna try and just kind of continue on our conversation on the Cybercast for the rest of you guys. Just going into first figure that you remember having as a kid or really wanted, or just kind of playing off of that. So starting off with you, Chris.
First thing I ever had, how old was I now? I was a late bloomer. I was even though I followed the shows religiously, didn't actually get anything until I was 12 or 13, no, 12? Whoa, yeah, 11, 12, something like that. I got my parents, it was building up for Christmas, and we was going everywhere. I was like, dude, I really want Energon, Optimus Prime, and Megatron, really, really bad. And it was sold out everywhere, could not find it. And we were looking for 2-3 weeks solid straight, and then we drove something 50, 60 miles up north, and my dad was like, "You on this one?" I was just like, I wanted the twin pack, but he was like, "I just wrote." I was like, okay, you can, yeah, that'll be cool. And that was my first one, and I actually didn't start collecting until probably about 3-4 years after that, and I was just like, "Oh, I've got just 2 figures on the shelf is really random," so I built up from there. But just the feeling of getting the first Transformer is looking back on it it's kind of a shame in some ways. I wish I still have the really, is obviously all you guys have is having new Transformers, just having it in your hands. Not as if it's a kid or anything, but it's pretty cool. It's that feeling is cool, but I wish I still had that about having your toys when you were younger, for example. It's when I used to have a Power Ranger, the whole hype about it, I wouldn't put that thing down for weeks, months. Nowadays, I get something, I fiddle around with it for a couple of days, maybe a week at most, and then it just goes on a shelf. And I'm ashamed to say, but the only time really I mess around with it if I'm just really, really bored out my brains, and I might transform a couple of times and whatnot, or clean it. So.
I've seen that too. When I start cleaning stuff, I forget about stuff that I had, and I'm like, oh, I'm cleaning this. Oh, yeah, I remember this, and I kind of get nostalgic a little bit, but then it passes. But
it drops off really quick.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
My first figure, I didn't find out till what it was till years later, but it was a GT Sea Spray.
Oh, cool.
I found it at a little garage sale when I was 5 years old or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I got it was either Transmetal, Tarantulas, or Rat Trap was my second and third figure.
Have you still got them, or?
Oh yeah, I still got them.
That's cool.
I don't have my Sea Spray, and I don't have a Torka anymore. Beast Wars. That's the only 2 figures I don't have anymore that I've ever bought. But then I went from Beast Wars, and I bought little here and there, those figures. That was it. And then RID came out, and I bought the Build King, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then Armada came out, and then that's when I really started collecting the toys.
Good man, good man.
Cool. How about you, Punk?
My first figure?
Yeah, first figure that you got as a kid.
That would be Hover. You guys don't even know what a hellish school day that was, because I asked for Optimus Prime in the morning and had to wait the whole day and find out I didn't get him.
Wow.
Telling all your friends, yeah, tomorrow I'm bringing Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen.
I remember those days.
Until Christmas.
Well, that's cool. At least you got him. That's
Yeah.
nice. Are you a collector now?
Yeah, I collect now.
Cool.
Sort of. Kind of. But yeah, I wanted Prime. Got Hover.
Right on. You guys want to add in on what got you back into it, or your holy grail that you finally you wanted as a kid and you finally got as an adult, or when you had enough money to obtain it?
I never really stopped collecting. I just started collecting more.
Okay.
Mine was just basically momentum. I mean, like what I said, is I got one. I said a couple of episodes ago. It's I got my Megatron. It's right, I've got him. He looks lonely. I've got to get the counter, which is obviously will always be Megatron. No, said that backwards. It would always be Optimus Prime. And it basically, I was just getting tit for tat. So it's right, if I'm going to get one Autobot, I got to get one Decepticon. And it got to a point that in stores and whatnot, it's while I was saving my pocket money, it was a lot easier to pick up Decepticons than it would with Autobots. It's I had, at one point when I first started to seriously collect, from that point I had Energon, Prime, Hotshot, and Prowl. Was it Prowl? No, it was Omega Supreme, sorry. And then for Decepticons, I had 5 or 6 of them, so it's okay, this is really heavily outweighed. So I ended up getting something go on eBay and typing in Transformers job lots, collections, just buying people's collections. I ended up having 10 on each side, so it's okay, this is actually looking pretty cool. So I thought, what else did I used to watch when I was younger? Murder, obviously. So I went into that, and then I basically, before you knew it, I had the whole Unicron trilogy. I was this, I mean, I know some people get some insane stuff. Well, back then I used to think it was insane. People collect giraffes, elephants, pottery, and teacups and stuff like that. It's it might be plastic, but that is some sweet looking plastic. And obviously going into a whole thing of each character represents something versus a cup doesn't really represent something, it's just a pattern on a cup. I just went into that, and I just went full steam ahead for about 2-3 years. About 2 years, something like that, and I gained 150, 160 Transformers, something like that, in the space of 2 years. Just went flat out for it. I didn't really go out and say, do the same stuff I used to do. I used to go go-kart and pay 20-30 quid for half hour. It's then I started realizing I can get a lot of Transformers for 20-30 pounds, so I'd rather do that. And yeah, long story short, momentum just kicked in. I just thought this is just looking better and better. So yeah.
Okay, cool. How about you, Punk? Any grails or something that you wanted as a kid and you finally got, or still looking for?
I always wanted Megatron. G1 Megatron, because I never had him. The leader of my Decepticons was Soundwave. So, finally got him, picked him up in a reissue. The one that actually got me back into collecting, oddly enough, was RID Optimus.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a huge fan of the show, but I really liked the figure, and then it kind of... I discovered online that they were doing reissues, and it kind of snowballed into, I'm going to get all the ones I wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
And all the ones I had as a kid that are in pieces in a box. So.
Yeah.
BVZXA3 says he got G1 Megatron 1984, one day after Christmas. I know I didn't have them, but I don't know if it was my parents didn't allow me, or they didn't have a problem with us having like guns or play guns and stuff like that. I mean, we even had guns that shot, and we'd shoot each other. We shot each other with BB guns too, so
Yeah.
it was
My parents
dangerous.
didn't have a problem with that either, but I just never got that one either. Really wanted Megatron. Thought he was really cool, but
Where do you used to buy him? I mean, I know you got stuff like Toys R Us now, but get my ignorance, but was Toys R Us like major for like Transformers back then as well?
KB Toys
Yeah.
was like the place to go because it was in the mall. Your mom wants to go shopping or whatever. You go with your grandparents and stuff like that. They're going to pick something up. You could stop by KB Toys, and the thing is, that might be one of the reasons why they went out of business. But they'd have something for like 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, they're like, clearance bin it, 50% off. And you're just like, yes. You're just like picking up all kinds of stuff, and that's where I think I kind of ended up getting all these different toy lines like the Sectars and Air Raiders and Starcom and stuff like that, because they would put them up and it'd be clearance bin, something that was supposed to be $10 or $20, and then it's like marked down to $5. Grandma's gonna be like, all right, so you can have like 4 of these or 1 Transformer because it's the same price, and you're like, I have no idea what this is, but it looks cool, so I'm gonna take, and like James said, I'm gonna take 4 over 1, when you're a kid, because it's a lot more playability, and so that's how I kind of discovered all these like weird odd-end lines like Supernaturals and just all kinds of stuff like that people don't care about. Cool.
for me it was like Kmart, Fred Meyer, besides Toys R Us, and some mom and pop like toy stores like Payless too, or Pay and Save. I remember back in the day, but actually, which is the equivalent to Rite Aid or Walgreens now, which actually carry Transformers. I remember getting Slag there once because my dad had to pick up something, and I'm like, oh, there's a Transformer here. It's like, all right, you can get them. Like, yes, I got Slag. It's so cool. I love the Triceratops. Nice. But yeah, it was KB Toy Stores. I mean, any place in the mall, you find a toy store. Back then, toy stores were around. There was a ton of them, actually specific toy stores, opposed to nowadays it's all about the discount stores. And even Toys R Us isn't that great anymore. I mean, they have the Babies R Us, / Toys R Us, all that type of stuff. But quick question for you guys. I just wanted to know, once you guys get satisfied with your collection of Transformers, let's say, like whether it's Masterpiece, like Masterpiece is done, and you have every single one of them, or G1, or RID, or Beast Wars, Bacon, whatever it may be, would you be done with Transformers? Would you jump into another Transformers line, or would you go into something totally different, collecting, or what would you guys do?
I have a couple of comments before we get on that. Rob Reap says, mine as a collector was Dark of the Moon, Mudflap, and Skids. And BVZXA3 says, Sam Solomon, service merchandise was where I went as a kid. Yeah, service merchandise, dude, they clearance the crap out of Captain Power. Bought those things up. So, that was another great place, too.
As far as, like, because I know I'm very close. So I've been thinking this through recently. Once I get done with like BotCon and Beast Wars stuff, it's literally just going to be cherry picking things that come out current that pique my interest. But after that, it's like I'll just be putting money back for the next BotCon or the next whatever between third party and official Hasbro. That's really all it'll be. There's not much backtracking for other toy lines that I need to do. There's just a handful of stuff I want from Brave, like Masterpiece, King X Kaiser, and Great Gold Rin, but other than that...
All right, so you'd stay in the series, continue going. All that. That's cool. How about the rest of you guys?
Honestly, don't know what I would do. If something just popped in my head, it's like, God, can you imagine, like, say, if you just got completely rid of, say, a certain line? I mean, well, if I got rid of Energon, it's like, oh, what would my room look like? It would look so bare and empty if I, like, sold all my Energon stuff. But I thought, if I was actually recollect a line, I mean, it's a long shot, but it's like, if I ever got to a point of, say, if I buy a figure, it's like, okay, I'm sure. Versus, like, when I first started collecting, it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, it sounds weird and pointless, I guess it's just me and how I am, but I actually wouldn't mind recollecting the line if I'm looking at the market, it's like, well, I don't want the current stuff. Say if, like, Transformers eventually went, like, rescue bots. If it went that bad, it's like, I'm not putting my money into that. And my money was just burning in the hole. It's like, well, there's nothing else I want is in Transformer-wise, really, so it sounds stupid, but I would either go on to, like, either repaints, or I would just be like, right, I'll just set off a line, and if I can find, say, a better condition version of something, I'll get that. Because some of the stuff for, like, Energon or Armada, they're not 100% complete. Like, they're either somewhere around my attic, my room, or I just pretending that, say, for example, when I was younger, say, like, Omega Supreme, we're looking at Prowl, I'll never forget, when I was, like, after a couple of weeks I had Omega Supreme, used the claw to pick up Prowl, and, like, they had an argument, and I used his claw to basically his arm to chuck him up against the wall. When you put a lot of force in chucking Transformers at walls, it doesn't really stay intact, and his head kind of went that way and that way and that way and kablowy. So I now have a headless Prowl, which I've had for many years. So yeah, I would probably just look into getting new versions of them or whatever, or I don't know, just buy another version. For example, Megatron from Energon. I use Energon a lot just because it's the most interesting line I have, because I customed a lot of them, especially Revenge of the Fallen as well. Panel lines, molding some of the plastic to change it a little bit better, either using a lighter, just going old school with it. So it's like, to looking as straight up before the custom to after the custom, that wouldn't look too bad. But yeah, loads of things I could do. I'm not sure. Bit daunting when you think about it, really.
Cool. How about the rest of you guys?
I might go back to video games mainly.
Oh, so you totally leave the series.
Well, once I got everything, besides, once I got everything I wanted, there'd be nothing for me to buy if there was nothing I wanted.
What about, like, third-party stuff? Would you ever go into that, or?
I don't really buy many third parties anyways.
That's cool.
I might buy one here or there, but yeah.
I think me and James, we collect different stuff already, so we just kind of piece stuff together. But just getting G1, when you include the Japanese series, complete, and when I'm talking complete, we're talking about the, like, uber rare, like Black Shadow and Blue, was it?
Blue Bacchus, Black, yeah, all
Bacchus,
those guys.
Yeah. Like those two, I mean, you can look on eBay right now, I guarantee you they're not on there. That's something that we may see at BotCon. If you do, you're looking 4 figures,
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to be hard to track down. Galaxy Shuttle, 100% complete, and because he's white, you don't want a yellow version. So there's a quality thing there. So just if you're a G1 collector, you could be collecting for a long time. James is also obviously a lot closer to being done than I am, but there's a lot out there, and even if you're doing it now, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. So it's something that I don't have to worry about for quite a long time. So.
True. Yeah. Same with me. Yeah, I collect so much other stuff, so I got done with Transformers. I'd probably just continue collecting the other stuff that I collect and go back. But would you stay in the Transformers realm, Punk, if you, let's say, got everything you wanted in a certain line? Move on to something else?
Well, I will never get everything in a certain line because somebody lost the molds.
Oh, true.
So it's kind of like toys I wanted as a kid and season 1 of G1. So there's a few of those that are missing because of lost molds. So, and yeah, I'd probably go to Beast Wars because for some reason at the time of the show I just completely ignored that toy line. I'm really not sure why, because now I have to pay a lot of money for those toys.
That's not too bad, believe it or not. I mean, there's a handful of Season 1 characters that you will, because again, some of those molds are gone. Other than that, you can easily get the first 3 seasons of the American cast for pretty cheap.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So you get to Beast Wars 2 and Neo.
Yeah, that's when you're going to be kicking yourself in the teeth.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to complete all of those figures.
And if you want a Randy. That's...
You gotta buy like a few of them. You better buy a case.
So, yeah. You want to move on to your topic there, Dakota?
My topic, or you're talking about the
what you were talking about. You wanted to kind of mention or something.
Yeah. Basically, earlier this week, some of the figure subscription service and a BotCon figure was supposedly leaked. Now, as far as this goes, I'm working on getting to the first page with the pictures. It was kind of a big deal because basically the supposed leaked figures were Transmutate, Cannonball, Iron Fist, and Breakdown. The last 2 being from the subscription service. So let me get to screen share real quick. There we go. All right, so this is the leaked image of Transmutate. Now, it took me a minute because I mean it looks fake, right?
Yeah.
But it's very clearly molded in those colored plastics somehow. And then there's Cannonball, and then we have Iron Fist right here, and then we have Breakdown. Now, these two Breakdown Robot. These two, Iron Fist and little Breakdown, they look like they are production samples, like legitimate production samples. Something that may have not quite cut it. Like you can see the light bar right here. It's like all red and then blue. There's not that black in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty positive it's going to come with the black in the middle. Although those two may actually be 100% what figure subscription service people are getting. And the Iron Fist here, he looks a little different, but at the same time, like those two are believable. We get to Cannonball, and it looks like this may be just one of those one-offs. Like they tried it, and it didn't really come out the way they wanted. And but it's also that's a finished production sample. The only reason I say that is because red translucent windows, purple on the sides here, so that may be subject to change. But this is the main point of focus here. If you look at this, you can tell this isn't the first edition RC mold. This is the Robots in Disguise RC mold. And
real quick, James, will you send Trans 5 an invite? He said the other one disappeared.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So, anyways, this is the Robots in Disguise RC mold, and I didn't want to like put it on our front page, our website, or anything. And by the way, like this guy Cobra Zartan, he's trustworthy. He's a trustworthy source. He's got a lot of sources in China and all that. And one of his contacts sent him these pictures. So, by seeing that this was the Prime Robots in Disguise RC, caused quite a conundrum. Some people were wanting it. Me and I'm sure plenty others were just like, no, that's bullcrap. We want the bigger, better first edition. But needless to say, Pete kind of came out and said, look, I don't know what these are, but it is for sure the first edition version. The tooling called for it, so on and so forth. So, and he said the tampos wouldn't even line up on the Robots in Disguise version. So, a little crazy, but this is for sure from the factory. How this was made is another story altogether, but I just thought it was neat. Like this, and I'm sure there's other versions of this out there. You guys want to elaborate on that, or I just thought it was neat to share.
What are we looking at? Transmutate?
Yeah, but it's not the first edition mold for Transmutate. It's the Robots in Disguise mold done in the Transmutate colors.
Is it a case of like, Mr. A and Mr. B? Mr. A, the official face, would say, no, these are fake, these are not official. Reason why you would say they're not official is because you haven't exactly announced them yourselves and someone's beat you to the punch.
Yep.
Unofficial.
See,
Right,
that's yeah. Pete came and he clarified. Like I said, he clarified that he's gotten 3 different samples of the finished product, and it is the first edition mold. The tooling sport was the first edition mold. But for whatever reason, these Robots in Disguise molds are, this is done up in that mold. And it's cast in that plastic. It's not like it's a custom.
Odd. So someone's lying, or doesn't know first edition, essentially from RID.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, is the fact that the factory churned this out.
Is that why it's delayed, or something?
Could be likely, but yeah, that also obviously wasn't evaluated on or whatever. But yeah, I just thought it was weird. I know I was in quite the uproar over it. So I don't want that trashy.
Sweet.
Would you be happy with an RID?
No, absolutely not. Like it would derive too far from the source material, and this first edition is just a more superior mold, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they'd be happy with the RID, but I don't know. That'd be a waste, in my opinion.
Yours are the shoulders that others took.
Yeah.
So
I have a quick thing for you. Souvenir said we're supposed to be getting knights, correct?
we're getting both knights and pirates.
Well, I thought the build a troop was pirates.
Well,
The other two.
It's gonna be 2 pirates, 3 knights, and a pirate troop builder.
Okay. So, do you think Deathwing could be one?
Deathwing.
Deathwing. He is a light former from the latter part of Generation, European exclusive. He was part of the I think he was a knight back in the day with Dialis. But just curious. I was just kind of. You heard of him?
I've actually never heard of him. No.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah. How do you spell that? Like
Deathwing. DEFT wing.
Okay. DEF.
T wing.
D. Okay.
So other than that, all right.
I got something to bring up since we're going to BotCon. Is there anything specific that you're wanting to look for? Like Jim, I don't know if you have like Black Shadow or anything like that, but is there something that you're like going there like I want to find a prototype of this, or because I know you said that you're looking for some of the meteor stuff that.
I am. Anything that I can't get my hands on eBay, or I know takes forever to kind of pop up on eBay if I happen to see it. But it all depends on price. I mean, like what you said, Josh, if I can find it on eBay, I'm going to probably end up buying it on eBay. I mean, because, unless it's in hand, I can see it. Like, let's say Minerva. I see a Minerva at BotCon. She's absolutely just snow white, perfect looking. Box, everything, then yeah, I'll probably
body. Yeah.
I'll probably end up buying it. That depends, unless the guy wants like $2,000 for it. But
Oh no.
but I'm looking for the kind of obscure stuff. Like I'm thinking about completing Brave. I am only 8 figures away from completing the entire deluxe Brave line. So those are probably ones I'm going to look for. Japanese stuff, obviously, and then books, Japanese books. Wheelies, prototypes of that. I thought I'd be the foremost, top collector in the world on wheelie. But
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna look for Japanese books, since you can't find those on eBay as much. Just
they're quite expensive too.
Yeah, like art books and stuff like that.
I was thinking about bringing this guy along, just so like whenever we take pictures and we show, but you got the picture, but in the background, or not the background, but you have this guy, because everyone knows that I like the little cute star screens and stuff like that, little cute guys. But thinking about bringing them along to where he's like there in like every picture.
He could be like your mascot.
There you go. He's our watermark.
You know what, Josh, would be awesome, and I don't know if you can fit it. Just bring Scorponok with you, because I really want to see what the new head looks like on him.
I'm not bringing that thing.
I know. It was a shot.
I tell you what. Why don't you send me the head? Just let me take the head home with me.
Yeah.
And I will take pictures. Well, you know what? Well, here's the idea that I was originally going with, and I will ship it back to you. So, is that a yes? You want to do that?
No, I'll think about it.
Okay. Right. Because I would not be shipping it back.
Yeah.
Here's what you can actually do, though, because we're getting picked up. I don't know if you want, because our plane gets home at like midnight, and when we get here, it'll probably be about 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know if you wanted to just crash here and then folks pick you up, and then that way you can take Scorpion out, put the head on, and take some pictures, and we can add it to the forum section.
We could. I don't know. I know.
Audio, or are you sending it via mail?
Do it.
Or are you gonna actually box it on you?
I'm sending all that stuff back through mail, and I think my parents are actually going to be in Dallas that weekend anyways, so I was like going back home with them.
Okay. I just want the head. I just want the head so bad for
What's sad is the head's going to put you back more than just getting the head and Scorponok. You might as well just find someone willing to sell the Scorponok.
No, some third-party company will end up being like, we're going to rip that off. I'm going to wait for Clone Droid to rip that head off, and then I'll end up buying something from them.
I don't think Clone Droid can afford the $400 box set.
We could get Dalton really drunk and have him sign a little piece of paper saying, "I give this to Josh because he's
and I get
my
Jim
hero."
too. He starts parting out his box set to everyone. And then we can give him back because we're holding his insulin hostage.
Poor guy.
That's just wrong.
What we do is we take the Scorponok head and let him keep the transector and be like, "There you go, buddy."
Like he doesn't get anything. Like even Dakota jacks his phone.
Just take everything of his bag, clothes, and everything.
Goodness. He's probably at work now, man, I can't wait to get home and jump on that Aftercast with my buddies. We're talking about stealing all of his stuff and selling it.
I don't even want to show up now.
That's not even the worst part. Obviously we're joking, but me and Jay were talking about is oh, I think you were on there too. Whenever we were talking about parting out the machine if he doesn't.
Yes, taking it apart and just piece by piece of it.
We're having a parts party.
Yeah, parts party for Dalton. So
I'm gonna take his foam insert from his box set and hold it hostage. No, it's my foam insert.
Start selling stuff out of his suitcase.
The insulin black market. We'd be the kings of it. The kings of that drug trade.
He's like, you guys are the worst friends ever.
Real quickly, since we're on BotCon, just then we can get back on like what we're gonna look for in the dealer room or so forth. But you have the custom class on Wednesday, right, Dakota?
Yes.
All right, so you're gonna hightail it from the airport to the because the custom class is what, at 9?
Yeah, custom class is at 9 a.m.
So yeah, and it takes 40 minutes from the airport to our hotel, right?
30, 40, give or take.
Yeah. So how are we gonna get into the room? Just curiosity.
What I'm gonna do is when I get to the hotel, I'm gonna let them know I'm there. I'm assuming either Josh or Dalton's gonna be going with me. I'm just gonna let them know. I'm just gonna see if they can't just give us a couple of key cards real quick.
Well, you should be able to leave it at the desk and be like, here's my, the key card. Will you leave this for me? And obviously let's have some kind of password since we're doing this thing live, and people just walk.
Cybercast Network.
Well, I mean, no, what I'll do is, since Josh, you or Dalton's going to be with me, I'll just say, look, just give them another key card, and then we'll go into our we'll go to the room at, what is it, like noon or whatever.
I think you can get 2 key cards per room. But they should be able to hold one for me. I show my ID and just tell them to hold it for me because I was actually going to wait and then ride over there with James.
All right, well then why don't I just let Dalton have the second key card?
Oh yeah, right. That's fine.
Just until I get out of
one of the
class.
adults is going to get the key card.
The 2 chaperones need the key cards.
We don't want y'all bringing any of those girlfriends in there and messing up the place.
Well, I mean, like that's, I'll get a key card for me, and then Dalton can hold y'all's key card. Like I mean, just until y'all get there.
That's
all
right. Just want to know the game plan. That's all. Just curiosity.
And then while I'm in the class, y'all can go up to the hotel room or whatever.
Maybe we'll go to that Mexican restaurant you like.
I mean, that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have all Thursday to do that when you guys are standing in line for registration and club store.
Yeah, well,
I'm not standing in line for any of that crap.
You gotta pick up your badge.
I gotta stand in line to get a badge?
yeah,
You gotta be there to pick it up.
in person with ID.
That shouldn't take too long.
Yeah.
Why would it?
Oh,
I show my ID and they just hand me the badge. I don't need you to.
Who knew? It's not as quick and simple as that. It's a little more elaborate.
Shoes.
Yeah. I mean, that all depends on which pickup Dalton gets too. To do Primus, like regular admission, regular pre-registration pickup takes forever. So,
Hopefully it won't take too long.
I'll probably go to Sushiko while you guys are doing all that.
So I bought my ticket pretty fast, and I should be in the front of the line. Hopefully.
You'll probably be one of the, I think it's the 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock pickups. Which, I mean, again, James, I'm sure you're going to want to go to the club store to buy the exclusives.
Yeah, I will.
I was the early pickup, or the first pickup in 2012, and I was in line for like 3.5, 4 hours.
Cool.
It is epic.
So it's gonna be a bonding experience.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get to learn some of them other guys real well. So what's your name? It's like, oh, so that was your life story. That's awesome. But
That's cool. And you don't believe in showering? Right on. That's so cool.
I'm telling you,
I'm
dude.
gonna go back here.
Dude, I will go back 10 places in line just to get away from them if someone like not using deodorant or showering or something.
I'm just happy I was able to proxy some of my sets. And by the way, I still have three or four sets left to proxy if anyone in here is looking for it.
I got a couple of comments. Random Man the Awesome says that wasn't Breakdown, that's Barricade. I believe he's correct.
Oh, dude, whatever. It's the same terrible toy.
Robbie Reap says if Transformers were done, I would go back and complete Transformers. I would go back, complete Transformer, the I got a Goodwill in yard throughout the years.
Okay.
Huh?
Cool.
I'm not sure what he meant there, but Punch Counter Punch says, "What's up, guys?" So,
What's up?
I'd probably go back and actually collect the die. That's probably what I'd do, actually. Thinking about it, but as far as the lines are concerned, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, that's all part of the experience. And I mean, at least I'll know for next time. I mean, I don't mind regretting not paying the $300, but I'd rather not regret paying $300 and I didn't get nothing for it. So,
I hear you.
but that's just me.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I know it's all said and done, and I know I've beat this dead horse, but
yeah.
if you would have proxied, I made that $300 back and then a little extra.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to regret.
Yeah.
well, I mark up things too much, like 300%, so no one's gonna buy anything from me. So, you want that set? It's $1,200. Come on. It's worth it. Look at that cool
Big Bad Toy Store. Look
Lord head. Come on, you want it. But yeah. But really looking forward to knowing those other nights. And Universal Studios experience should be fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to go to a
dining
Dodger game.
every day. That'd be good. Let's do it.
I'm partying out, man.
Yeah.
Some kid said that
Cake
to me.
into our room.
Yeah, some kid. I was at Walmart. I was walking out, and a young dad. He was probably like 21 or something like that, walking out with this kid, probably about 3 or 4. But I had beer in my hand, and I was walking out, and he was like, "Partying this weekend, huh?" As he passed me, and I was just like, "What?" Partying, if you mean like drinking beer at my house by myself while I'm on the internet with a bunch of dudes, and yeah, living La Vida Loca, man. So,
Should have just done something different, like I just broke up with my girlfriend, you dick, or something, and I have all this beer, and it's like and then start doing a sob story and just keep following them.
My mom just died.
It's like, thanks for reminding me. Now I gotta go back in there and buy another 6-pack. Sure.
no, this isn't gonna be enough.
Just reopen the wound. Why? But yeah, I've seen that. Man, my Walmart is crazy where I live at times, especially on Fridays. You get so many people in there and I love every other person in line has just a crap load of beer. It's hilarious. It's like, wow, where are you guys gonna be? I don't want to be there. But
it was, I think, just a year ago. In January 2014 or 2013, that they started selling beer and wine in my city. I used to have to go drive 30 minutes on the way to go pick stuff up. So it sucked.
Guess we got tired
Anyways.
of missing out on that free tax money, huh?
We were talking about the stuff you wanted to pick up at BotCon. Is that right?
yeah. What are you picking up, Dakota?
I actually think I'm gonna look to. I know for sure I'm gonna get the BotCon 09 set if I can find it as cheap as I found it elsewhere, and maybe the 05 box set. Still kind of iffy on that. Other than that, I'm gonna do what I can to complete the G1, not G1, Japanese.
G1.
It's been a long week. I'm gonna do what I can to complete the Japanese Beast Wars cast and maybe the few American cast members that I need.
So you're going after God Neptune?
Yeah, more than likely. I may go after a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna try to go after in the parts parties and not the dealer room. But beyond that, there's the Go Samurai team that I'm gonna get. and Warden and maybe a handful of other third-party items if they pique my interest while I'm there. So
Cool. You going after Masterpiece, Josh?
Yeah, the pretty much when stuff comes out, I get it. So there's only a couple things that I was wanting. Kind of make a deal, get G2 Sideswipe and also Tiger Track. So both Lambo or Lambo modes. So I have all 5 of those things. And if I can find like I believe it's the I want the Takara version because I want the trailer, but I don't have MPO9 Rodimus. But I want to make sure that I don't get one that's crap.
Get the second release.
Yeah, so I need to find out some way to find out if it's a second release or not. Or I also kind of want the Megatron, but then again, I gotta have faith that they're gonna be coming out with a MP10 scale one.
Get that on the plane in gun mode. What's up?
Oh, I get shot on sight, man.
It's like, what is that huge gun in your bag? No, it's a
It
toy.
must be real. Start putting on the silencer.
Trying to transform it. No, it's really a robot. Gosh, come on, work. Got his little head sticking out. See? Megatron.
God, that'd be one of the worst ideas ever.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're joking, dude, but I can actually see that happening.
I mean, you couldn't even get the thing through security in gun mode, so you would have to have it in robot mode, and then you transform it on the. I mean, that's just awful to think about. Oh my God.
People are watching you over there.
There's an air marshal on. Is it every flight or almost every flight or something like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they're like hidden among the crowd too, which is funny. Like guy just gets up and randomly tases you.
Yeah. I mean, they would. The thing is, they would use a taser because you don't want to shoot in the plane. I mean, we see the movie U.S. Marshals. What happened there? So, basically, anything with suction, decompress, the air blows a hole in the plane. So yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. Don't recommend that for anyone. You'll spend the rest of your life in jail.
All over a toy.
I just couldn't wait to get home before I could transform them.
Never forget that, Buckon.
Because it's the last one you'll ever get to go to. Unless it's locally, because you ain't get on a plane for the rest of your life. That's, unless I find any Brave stuff, I'm just basically looking for Masterpiece. Or if I come across any good deals on G1, then, then I'll pick those up, obviously.
Yeah. Cool.
Random Man the Awesome says, Josh and I need to throw Dakota in the pool for not knowing who Grimlock was, while James counts down and Chris sells tickets for people to watch. Ooh.
Right.
What a little dark.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought we was boys, but whatever, Random Man.
Curiosity question for you guys also. I'm sure all of you have used eBay and such. I mean, that's pretty much one of the only places that we can get some of these rare, hard to get, figures and stuff. Would you rather do it off of a forum and totally eliminate eBay? I mean, have you guys had great experiences with eBay? Just kind of throwing it out there because, I mean, I do a lot of business on eBay just because it's, I don't go through the forums as much. And, I find something I want, I, go after it. There you go. And, protected by PayPal at times and all that kind of stuff. But just kind of curious how you guys kind of feel on, like, collecting and trying to get your stuff. there?
I'll be honest. I try to do 100% of my buying through forums. It's cheaper. I'm still protected because of PayPal.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't have to worry about eBay stuff. I mean, there's a feedback there. A lot of these people that you do buy and sell to are, you know, they're known. You know, it's the community there. It's not like just I've sold 10,000 things on eBay.
Yeah.
So.
Now for the rest of you guys, anyone?
Well, how does selling through forums work? Because I know through like you know, if you do it through eBay and you don't get your stuff, and you can turn around and say to eBay like, hey, well, you know, I paid for it and nothing's arrived, so what's going on? How does that work through forums? Do you get? You know?
Well, it depends on if you pay through PayPal and if you pay as a gift or personal rather, or if you pay like you're paying for goods or services. Paying for goods and services is recommended to really to anyone that doesn't have outstanding feedback on these forums. So, like I don't have to, you know, I mean, but at the same time, whenever you do pay for goods and services on forum, they're going to ask you to include 4%. Because that's the PayPal fee. So, like, there's that. But if you do include that 4% and for whatever reason they jack you around, you settle that through PayPal, which is essentially what eBay does because eBay owns PayPal. It's just you're doing it yourself and you're not waiting for eBay to do it or whatever. You just say, look, I didn't get my goods or services, or they were broken and the guy didn't refund me, so on and so forth. So that's how that works. Still just as safe and again cheaper.
So you recommend doing forums? Any of the, you know, you guys done the forums? A good experience with them?
Forums.
I bought one
I have.
way off the forums on TFW.
I've always done everything through eBay. Like I recently bought G1 Red Alert, and guy said 100% complete, and the stickers were not included. So I informed him, you know, and he said he'd look for them. He couldn't find them anywhere. He swore he had them in the package, but I was telling him, like, look, man, they are not here. So he was like, well, you know, I want to make sure that you're happy. You're not dissatisfied, so just tell me how much the refund you, you know, and whatever it is, and I'll do it. So I went to Repro Labels. I saw that I could pick them up for $5. I was like, how's $5 sound? Because that's what Repro Label sells them for. That way I get my stickers and like done. So, you know, and refunded me the $5. So, you know, I always have like positive experiences and stuff like that. I've only a couple times had some, you know, some negative stuff.
Yeah.
I got burned real bad on eBay. Thought I actually the picture was of Beast Wars Telemoka Dinobot, and I got the freaking Fox Kids repaint sent to me.
Oh, I remember that. You telling us that.
Dude, oh man.
So that didn't end well.
Well, knock on wood, my experiences have been okay. I've pretty much gotten what I paid for, so.
That's cool.
And I've went through like both the forums and eBay, so it's not like I do it a whole lot, but for the few times I've done it, I've had good success. Knock on wood.
Cool. Good on. So I know at times you can find some pretty good stuff on the forums. For some reason, I just don't do that. Get established that way and all that kind of stuff. I mean, especially like for Brave, eBay has stuff, but there's not a lot of stuff, so you got to go to like the Yahoo Japan auctions and stuff like that, and then you have to deal with the middleman, and so you're paying, like if something costs you $20, now you're gonna have to actually pay an extra, you know, almost $5 on top of that for the fee towards the middleman, and then they ship it to you, and you have to work all that stuff out, and you have to have the money in your account. It becomes a pain. So I was just kind of curious. So, because I like buying the rare stuff, but man, people on eBay just don't have a clue when it comes to like, oh, it's rare. I'm gonna charge, let's see, $600. Well, dude, that thing's only like a $30 toy. I mean, come on, what makes it that price and everything? But yeah, I was just kind of curious. So
I never got that about eBay. I mean, you see people on there, it's like instance, like if it's rare, oh, it must be triple price because it's rare. It's like you can get like musket, or not just muskets. You can get say like Lee Enfield bayonets, like a rifle or something. And it's like, yeah, it's rare because it's from World War II. Are they expensive? No, 20 quid, something like that, and you're gonna have a bit of problems with P&P because they're not exactly light. But still, it's like that's just an example there. It is really, really rare. I mean, it's like almost 100 years old. It's like 80 something, 90 years old. So it's like if that's class, that's pretty much as rare as it gets. I mean, so why people think just because I know what I'll do, I'll list it as £10. Wait a minute, if I list it as rare and I ask for 20, that's gonna justify it. Come on, but people do it.
yeah,
I hate misleading stuff on eBay. It's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
When I look Transformers G1, and then I see all these freaking Transformer Prime and Beast Hunters and Generations figures pop up. I'm like, they're not G1, and they're like, it's the G1 Generations, it's the Generations version of the G1. I'm like, it's just Generations.
Yeah.
You're messing up my search here because I got to scroll through. There's not even a possibility that a chance that if I'm searching for G1 that I'm gonna click on that and buy that. I'm looking only for G1.
What's funny is some people do though, like it has worked.
Not for people that are just specifically looking for G1. Like myself, that's what I'm talking about. Myself, James. James, he actually likes Chug stuff, but I'm saying people that they only collect G1. You're not selling it to us. You don't have a shot. You got as good of a shot as selling me something from Beast Wars. So.
Half the time, people who collect G1 are pretty much G1 purists. So if you do something with Generations, that's like way on the other side of the board. So it might work to some people, yeah, but better off just listening to Generations, to be honest.
yeah.
The point is label things the way they're supposed to be labeled. Like I see a lot of times that people will also add Optimus Prime and Megatron in the title, or Bumblebee, because they're some of the most searched for character names, so that their Generations whatever cup actually pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I hate the fact that people mislabel things and they don't know what they have. Yeah, and they'll just put that in their description, say, well, I'm not a collector, but yet you look at their feedback and all they do is sell Transformers. And you haven't learned anything from all your selling? Yeah, come on, give me a break. And a prime example is Six Knight. There's like 2 people on eBay right now that are selling Quick Switch, but they're labeling the super rare Six Knight. Okay, sure, whatever.
They're trying to grab that starting out collector that doesn't know a whole lot,
Yeah.
Trying to trick them.
But it works.
Breakdown Robot.
Breakdown.
I saw someone mislabel it as G2. It's actually Breakdown Robot. We need that sound clip so bad.
I really need to work on just getting it and making it.
Can we contact her and be like, can you
say
again?
Breakdown Robot real quick for me, just over the phone?
But when you say it, when you say it like you're interrupting me because you know more than me, and then say Breakdown. It's Breakdown Robot.
What's funny is my friend Madeline kind of sounds like her. I'll probably get her to do it, and she's like, "What do you want me to say this for?" No reason at all.
Right on. Switching gears, anything in the news that we covered on the Cybercast kind of sparked some interest with you guys? Yes, that's coming out, or I don't really care. I'm switching to My Little Pony, or collect something else. I don't know.
cutting them third parties out of my life. Those things
Probably would save some money.
Yeah.
I could go on a major rant about the whole. I mean, it's more. You guys know the story. I mean, you know, it's like I'm preaching to the choir, but it's like I was really looking forward to KFC and thought, you know, they've done some good stuff in the past. Why they've done it, I don't know. Is it bad? Yeah. Would I give them money? Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna buy it directly from them anyway. I was gonna get it from eBay, so I'm kind of using that as their excuse, but I'm gonna use it anyway. But no, I mean, I think really less of them. I mean, but perfect example, if anyone's liked Gigapower, the third-party company, on their Facebook page, look at how they deal with their customer service. Look on what they tell people miles in advance. Then look at KFC. It's like KFC, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't even tell you that we was doing this on the second run, but now we're doing it. It's like, they haven't even come up with a pre-order yet, and they're like, whoa, hell. They went through everything, and it's just yin and yang, basically. I mean, no offense to KFC, but they're like the evil person here, but yeah, like I said, I could go on for a major rant, but I'm trying to compose myself because I will go on a major rampage, but yeah, it's wrong.
And even then, you know, I think Karma might get him because, I mean, there is still that MP Ultra Magnus that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen KFC. I have seen KFC do replacement parts before. But most of the time it was if something had broken and they found out that, hey, a lot of people have said that this has broke on their figures, so it must be an issue. So I've seen them send out replacement parts.
But even if they do replacement part, it's like, no matter what they do from here, it's gonna make it worse. It's like the whole Warpatron thing. It's like, just don't say anything. Whatever you say, this will be bad for you. If KFC turns right now and says, oh, okay, we'll send the replacement joints for the people who got the first wave. It's like, well, then you're shoving it to the second wave people because you're saying, oh, that was just like you get the special thank you. And the second one's just like, oh, but, you know, here's your version, which is clearly a better version. But it's like, no matter what they're going to say...
Here's a crappy second-run version with all the improvements.
So you think they should have kind of waited on that?
Deeper and deeper.
Waited doing the second run and just kind of done their, you know, their exclusives, and then maybe touched on it towards the end of the year, so it's not so close to home right now.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a little better. I mean, it goes back to like what Hasbro did to us with Soundwave, releasing it at Toys R Us for all the people that got the Takara version with all the tapes, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Hasbro Toys R Us exclusive with Soundwave. But at least it was, you know, it was later down the road a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of like,
at least it was before I spent an extra $120 on those 4 cassettes.
yeah, I think they should have waited or done something else. I mean, between Warbatron and now KFC is just,
you know, I did pre-order my first KFC purchase. Cincho Barbosa.
Captain Shark.
Right.
Captain Shark. And I've never bought anything from KFC, and there's just really never been anything that I'm like a huge fan of. But this being, I believe, our first third-party Brave figure, I really wanted to support it. And also, I don't know if something like that would ever get made again. I'm sure, like, years down the line, you know, maybe people will start jumping on it after they get done making 50 Predakings or whatever. But I really liked, you know, to get some articulated Brave stuff. And if I support this now, and I put my pre-order up as soon as, you know, it went live, I want them to get that feedback that, you know, hey, that as soon as or maybe they'll make some more, other third-party companies will, you know, start hitting up some of that stuff, because
well, that's the thing, yeah.
You know, you already have, you know, several you got the Masterpiece line for Transformers, but even then you got Generations and some other things that you're getting articulated versions of these characters. They're not necessarily, Masterpiece, but they're articulated versions of them. To where the Brave series, we don't get that treatment at all. It was like, here's the originals, and there you go. So, we did get the Masterpiece. Yeah, we did get the 2 Masterpiece Brave figures, but then they quit on that. So.
Yeah. I don't know why they keep quitting. I mean, Takara, they re-released the Brave figures back in 2000, 2001. They did King X Kaiser, they did Fiber, Degarn X. They also did even a 2-pack Gal Gaigar with Goldie Mark. And then they quit. They stopped. They didn't give us any of their counterparts, the support mechas, to form the Super Robot modes. Then they came out with the Masterpiece line, which only had 2. And at the same time, they did the Brave Revival, which is absolutely fantastic. But they gave us better paint jobs. They gave us the support mechas, but they quit again. And it's like, that is one of the best pieces. If you could find a great Goldran out of the Brave Revival, that is my holy grail now. But I don't know why they keep doing this, and especially now, 25 years is coming around the corner next year for Brave. So we're hitting an anniversary, so that's going to be great. But I don't think Takara is going to do anything about it. And it would be nice if all of a sudden we get just this influx of like, oh yeah, we're having Masterpiece lines coming back. You want J Decker? Here you go. You want a Great Goldenrod? Here you go. You want a Great Mike Gain? Here you go. But it's up to the third parties, I think, now, if they're willing to put forth the effort. But again, why don't they make a Lao Kaiser? Why don't they make some of this other stuff? I think that would sell. But no, we need a Predaking. We need an Ultra Magnet. We need figures that we need to compete with Hasbro. It's like, who gives a crap about competing? Like, oh, Hasbro's bringing this out. We need to do a third party because all our third party fans are going to want that. Give us something else,
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
You got several Jetfires out there. I mean, it's just everyone's copying. I mean, Decca Toys, they've got 2 Jetfires.
Yep.
You got Hasbro. Then you have, I think it was Mechaforms. There's so many freaking third-party companies out there right now that I can't even keep track.
I hate to say
Fans Toys is doing one.
I hate to say this, but judging from what I've been hearing from you guys and then Radio Free Cybertron and looking at them all doing the same thing, yeah, it looks like we're starting to see the formation of that bubble everybody's been talking about.
Yep.
Shame though. I mean, looking back, 2-3 years ago or whatever, is looking at how third party was first, like on the scene with your add-on kits. It was like, no one copied each other. Everyone was unique in their own right, in their own different way. Now it's like, I mean, fan toys, awesome because you gave us Quakewave. No one will ever recreate that, and if they do, they're idiots because they'll never be as successful as Quakewave. But it's like, people jumping on the whole Dinobot thing now. It's like, you're showing us nice stuff, but seriously, that space has been filled. How about you make, for example, let's just pretend that there was no Galvatron pipeline for like Hasbro, Takara, or whatever. It's like, why wouldn't you do something like that? Do something no one is doing. Do something, it's like, okay, if you say, oh, well, if we touch like a really touchy subject and other people jump on what we're doing, it's like, not necessarily. Timing, they're bound to know who is coming out with what. They're bound to have some ideas of what the other companies are designing. It's just too much of a coinky dink that one person says they're doing a Predaking and then all in like a space of a month they're all like, oh yeah, here's our Predaking. It's like, they must all know. It's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just thinking outside the box. I mean, we all know what we think about X2 Toys, Autobot clones, but other than just a couple things, they could be really good. But that was an idea I had a year ago, and I said that if I had my own third-party company, that would be the first figures that I would be coming out with them, and then I come out with the Decepticon clones. But now X2 Toys is doing that, and another third-party company will probably do it eventually as well. We'll see if they do a better job, but thinking outside the box, what hasn't been done yet, what would be really cool. And the thing is us as fans, if you're spending enough money for third-party stuff, then you're more than likely spending money on masterpiece stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you like the complex transformations. You don't just like we fold out the legs here, tab, and there's my robot. You want something a little bit more complex, and that you're like, man, this is really cool, and you had fun doing it. So what kind of robot can we do to kind of appeal to those type of fans? I think Busta and Hydra would be good as well, because you're going to have them in jets, you're going to get the Godmasters, and then you combine them as well to make their super jet. I don't know what they call it. I forgot what they called it. But
Wing Cross.
Wing Cross, okay. So you're going to have, that will make fans go crazy, because you get the little minifigures, they plug in, they're from the Japanese series. You could even do repaints of them, because you have the
Dreadwind.
Yeah, you have the American release, or UK maybe even. Then you have the Japanese release, so you can do repaints of them. You can, the combined feature as well is going to help out, and that's what I want to see as fans. That what makes me be like, wow, that's cool, that's unique. It's not just your whatever, all these other third-party products that we see that you're just like, whatever. Like I said, I'm pretty much cutting out third parties unless it's something that I'm like, you impress me. The Mastermind Creations Predacons, finishing that up. The the Fans Toys Dinobots, those impress me. Fans Toys does, and the Fans Project Headmasters. Other than that, I'm pretty much like, I'm done with third party,
Who's making Overlord?
Mastermind Creation. BTS Toys, yeah.
BTS Toys and Mastermind Creations.
You can tell. I mean, it would be such a bad idea, which kind of tells like the fans it's obvious they're gonna do it. If they're gonna come out with an iconic thing like Overlord, I would put money on it. I mean, some serious money, but they're bound to come up with another City Former. It's pretty much done. Didn't you say Make Toys are doing it as well? Just then?
They're doing Metroplex.
Yeah, they're doing Metroplex.
They're still doing the Metroplex?
Yeah.
As far as we know, yeah.
Wow.
Well, last time we saw it was test shots are done. Don't know if were they final or were they touch-ups?
I don't see how it's gonna compete.
They're test shots.
Yeah.
No.
But that's coming along really nicely. But that's where the money is. I mean, that's something is like you probably won't see, say, Gigapower do, because to go on to something as Overlord is like, that is a very, that's the people who have their sandwiches and cut off the crust. That's very specific. I need drink. Specific people that have a specific itch they need to scratch. You're not going to see, say, for example, me. I like G1. Would I go out and buy an Overlord? No. As in, like, that era, like Transformers. I wouldn't go out and buy him because I've just never really been. He's a cool guy and everything, but if I was to get something, it would be something of, say, I don't know, something to rival with Metroplex, so you'd have like Devastator or stuff like that. I wouldn't necessarily get him, but for the people who are pretty much, the purists, so like Josh or whatever, it's like, that's right up their alley. Seeing what's third party based off older kind of G1-esque figures. So yeah, I mean, that is the way to go. If you're gonna be a third party company and you want to do the older figures, go for the most iconic things you can possibly think of. Just dive into it and see how it goes. I reckon it will sell pretty well, which will roll on to something cool, which hopefully would be a Scorponok. I just can't imagine what third party Scorponok could be. I mean, it's like saying, trying to imagine, before you saw, like, anyone saw, like, the silhouette or anything of this upcoming Overlord, could you imagine a third party Overlord? It's like, you just, in your head, you can't imagine it. You know it's going to be awesome, but it's just like fuzzy lines, and then you see it and you're like, that's exactly what I was thinking, even though it wasn't. But that would be really cool to see something for Scorponok. Really look forward to someone stepping up to the plate and doing that anyway.
Now would be the time to come out with the Scorponok. To be honest, just because you got the BotCon one, coming out, and if people, you got the G1, and then if people they're looking at, they're like, I'd kind of like an updated version of Scorponok or whatever. That thing's going to be going for crazy money on the internet. So if I'm going to spend crazy money, and I'm not like Dakota, I don't care whether it's BotCon or not. It's just I wanted a G1 colored Scorponok with but I've already got the G1. Just want one that's a little bit more articulation. You come out with one third party that's around the same price, people might gravitate to you. It's also going to drive that price down a little, not a lot, just because it's an exclusive BotCon stuff. But again, I'm talking for people that aren't like Dakota, that are just like BotCon's the best thing in the world. So.
I would love to see a company, or I'd love to see Takara actually take their Kabaya kits and actually turn them into a better, not just a model kit type thing, but like a world's smallest Transformers line, an official world's smallest Transformers line or something. I would love to see like an Overlord, like that small, or like a the Road Caesar, that small.
Be adorable.
And all that kind of stuff, because the Kabaya kits, I mean, we've gotten a ton of great characters in that line, and they didn't just go with G1, they went with the Japanese, Overlord, Road Caesar. Did they do a Lao
Road Caesar would be Road Caesar would be another good one for a third party to jump on. That Landcross,
Yeah.
Because you're doing something unique. I think at Landcross, you sell them in 2-packs, and so people buy that. But hey, if you want the complete combined form, then you got to buy these other 2-packs.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice, and especially at a bigger size. I would love that. Dino King, I would love to have a bigger size, bigger than that, or even Monstructor, because you can repaint them.
Yeah, well, that thing needs to be done right anyway, because that dude is very small.
Yeah.
Combiner, and it's kind of a crap toy. The thing is expensive because it comes with 2,000 accessories, but
yeah.
And they were so crappy that nobody wanted them as kids, so no one really has them.
Did that even come out over here?
Well, it came out as Monstructor.
Monstructor, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had different colors for Dino King, and they also had like actual dinosaurs, like they came in. Yeah, they're little pretenders that you actually saw in the cartoon. To where when it came out in America, they were just like some crazy looking stuff. I've got a couple of them. There's like some kind of weird vulture. He's black with red, and then there's like some thing that's got like these crab hands. He's blue and orange, and you got this blue and gray guy that looks like like a bat head, and I don't know.
Yeah.
They're strange. They're a strange looking beast.
But it's a cool. I mean, when I read the story about that, about the correlation between who created them, it was Jaxus. They were like the first combiner team to actually made. And they went after Omega Supreme, and was there. And I mean, they kicked the crap out of Omega Supreme.
Yeah, I was amazed. I was like, whoa.
And Omega Supreme told Prime that you don't want to try and rehabilitate these guys. You can't. And they're gonna utilize the whole combiner. You don't want the combiner process to go into the wrong hands or something to that nature. And
yeah, he tried to warn him. And
Prime just shrugged it off. No, I'm going to help him.
Yeah, look what happened in All Hell Megatron. Oh.
Yeah, no.
What are those six Constructicons doing? Holy crap, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish a third party would actually give us better
Speaking of the IDW Constructicons, the end of the original run, whenever they just took, I want to say it was Scrapper's dead body, and just like kept him in leg form, and Devastator had a gimp leg. of that comic, he was like limping around, just killing it. It was like, what? But he's dead. And they're like, well, he still functions as a stub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but in the comments, I think Prowl is still one of them, right?
See?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so awesome. I'm surprised. Speaking of which, I'm surprised no third party has done a Dinobots that's a combiner yet.
Well, TFC was going to do it back like 3-4 years. Well, no, 2009 was it? Was
Really?
it? Yeah, it was, well, 2009, 2010. Yeah, but I mean, you can imagine how crappy it would be. And
Yeah.
last time I heard, or what I can remember, I have Memory of a Goldfish, so I'm the worst person for that. But a KO company were doing it. But
Oh, I think I remember. I think Graham, Vector 75, did a video on Combiner Dinobot KO team something. But
Okay.
Star
Yeah.
Team or something.
I wish someone would do that. I mean, take the Geisters from Brave Fighter X Kaiser. They're reminiscents of the Dinobots.
Really? Okay.
They actually combine in that series. They combine in 3 different modes, but all 4 of them can combine into Mad Geister. And that would be great if someone would actually decide to go that route.
It brings up a comment that BVZXA3 he said Godmasters G2 and Brave series is and are the next steps for third parties to stay in the game. At least Fans Project is still doing the Headmasters. But yeah, I mean, it's getting to where Hasbro's and Takara, man, they're stepping up, and they're coming out with Jetfires, they're coming out with Roadbusters, and things that you're starting to look at these things. The Rhinox and the Whirl and the Springer. You're starting to look at this stuff, and you're like, wow, they stepped up their game. Like, they're actually doing stuff the right way, the way that we've been wanting, instead of just painting some random Bayformer and, just calling him Springer, because they put a head on it. They're actually giving us exactly what we want. So when it comes down to official and third party, I mean, you're obviously going to go with official, if they both look good.
Yeah.
So yeah, if third parties want to stay in, they're gonna have to go a different route, and I think Brave would be the right way to go.
Yeah. GoBots. There you go.
Or even GoBots. Yeah, I don't care about GoBots, but yeah, that's one of the best ways to go for them, probably.
I mean, because we don't have. I mean, I'm not a huge GoBots fan, but GoBots, why not? I mean, you don't have to have the names and all that kind of stuff. Just what sort of likeness. You could totally get a Leader 1 out there. We got that Psykill, Turbo. We get the Crasher, Copter, and all those kind of guys. But
I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but GoBots were always cheaper than Transformers, and so I got Transformers, and people that maybe didn't have as much money, or maybe they just weren't really that much into it. They ended up getting GoBots, because they were cheaper to buy. I talk to my friends on Twitter that are GoBot fans, right? And I show them like that Psykill, and I'm like, how much is it? And I tell them, and every single one of them, because they were like, oh, that's awesome, definitely want it. How much is it? Tell them, they're like, it's too expensive, no thanks.
The GoBot is talking.
Yeah. And I just looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. Transformer fans are like, yeah, I'll pay that. And the GoBot fans are like, ooh, no. A little too rich for my blood. So it just kind of continues. It's the same cycle. I just thought it was kind of funny, but I'm, at the same time, not trying to make fun of people that I'm not, that, maybe, just don't have the funds for the stuff. Because, crap is expensive. So.
Yeah.
Now, what is it? Takara has the names, but they can't do the likeness of the characters, correct? And who has the rights to do the likeness?
Bandai.
Bandai does?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So it's, okay.
Does Bandai even do anything these days?
No.
Power
Gundams, Figure Arts, Dragon Ball Z.
Super Robot
Chigokens, Solar Chigoken. All your high-priced items.
Oh, yeah.
They do Macross stuff, too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. They'll always do Macross.
Mm-hmm.
Always. We'll always have some type of BF1S released every other year. It's pretty much comes down to.
Robbie Reap had a question. Are they going to do the rest of Season 1 Maximals after Rat Trap, Rhinox, and... Have they come out with a cheat tour?
Universe. Or Classics.
We're just going to pretend that one doesn't exist.
No, they haven't then.
Alright, so... Do you think that that's what they're trying to do, maybe, is... finish, Season 1, because I know Waspinator's a Predacon, but...
considering I don't think they're really going to try to finish Season 1 per se, as it's going to be more or less updating the figures that need it most, and then maybe working from there. With the whole Beast Hunters thing, they seem to have had success with that, where kids are wanting beasts again. Thank God. So, and with the whole Dinobots thing, it's like, look at how many of these, Dino Transformers are coming out. Like, the slow transition back to Beast Formers it's like, it's among us, and it's freaking sweet.
True. Is there an anniversary coming up next year for Beast Wars?
Theoretically, that would be 96, or 16, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Because the show didn't come out to 96. The first wave of toys hit in 95. But, there could be. Like, I could be spending stupid money on BotCon next year, or in 2016, so...
I'm just curious if they keep giving us more of the cast each year, part of the Generations line or something, and such.
That'd be cool.
But it also factors into their IDW comic book, too. I've seen Waspinner in there.
That actually works backwards. The reason those characters made it into IDW is because Hasbro said, look, this is what we're coming out with. We want you to try to incorporate that somehow. That's how it's always been. If you notice a couple of the story arcs from the original run of IDW, the artwork, look at the artwork. Like, one issue, Sideswipe looks like a very cut version of his G1 self. And then, same with Sunstreaker. And then the next issue, they look like they're Universe Classics toys.
Okay.
There's all reason for that. It's not just artistic stylings. It's hey, we want to sell some of these toys.
Okay, so they're bringing back the old school G1 cartoons where they kind of didn't edit everything correctly and it doesn't flow.
Look at how quote unquote Orion Pax looked. One issue he looks like Orion Pax looks like Optimus. Then they showed, remember Spotlight Blur when they were kept calling him Optimus, but he looked like Orion Pax. I was scratching my head. I was like, wait a minute, did I just miss something here?
Yeah, well, at the same time, he was still, I guess, younger. It was very shortly after that Orion Pax to Optimus transition.
Oh yeah.
You got to think that all happened like right there.
And then they mentioned someone named Zeta Prime, and I'm like, okay, what? Okay. Who is this guy?
Yeah. He was one of the politicians back when, because that was when primes were politicians in IDW. They weren't really like generals or commanders or something honorable like Optimus. They were all just your typical like dirty politicians.
Yeah, because I'd read a little bit of Megatron Origins. He had killed Sentinel. Then I thought they were just gonna jump into Optimus, but apparently there was somebody in between them. Okay.
Yeah, if you go back to like Optimus Spotlight, they actually goes in the order it's supposed to be, but then they went back and no, that's not the right order that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, there's somebody named Zeta, because that's why I was like, okay, who is this Zeta? And They didn't show him in the line of Ascension.
Yeah.
So are you saying that Bayformers Michael Bay got it wrong again?
I mean,
how many times has he gotten it right?
You can count it. You can count it on one hand.
Yeah.
That is true.
One question that I did have, which I don't understand. In point blank, bluntless, what is... I mean, this is a rhetorical question, kind of, but I do actually... Well, no, it isn't, because I expect an answer. What's the purpose of a Generations line? Classics line, even?
I don't know. I've always felt like it was a reimagining of G1. It builds on what G1 established, but it's updating it for the modern era. I mean, that's what I've always thought.
It's basically, I mean, it's what it stands. They're just taking popular characters, or which they started with popular characters, and then they're going just in no particular order, making these new representations of old characters. And essentially, like, that's just it. I think it's clearly geared towards the adult collectors, but I mean, kids seem to get into it just as much too. I mean, especially with the whole YouTube review world factor thing in there.
Or again, it's like the whole point for, like, say for example you've got Waspinator and stuff like that. It's like, right, okay, see where you're going for your best representation. Where does that leave any hope of a masterpiece line for Beast Wars and stuff like that? If they're just bringing them out, it's like, say if they, I don't know, they
just
spend
the same. The exact. Let me cut in here because I can probably answer all that. The reason why they do the randomness is because a lot of the times where it's like this guy and this guy don't have anything to do together is so they can keep up with the naming rights.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so maybe they are planning on doing a masterpiece Waspinator, you know, and you got this nice deluxe, you know, but it's a possibility. But now they secured that name, and you've got a nice version. I don't think anyone's complaining about it. But if they wanted to, you got that name again. You secured it, and that's why you know maybe Tank or whatever was about to get lost. Bam, that's why they came out with them. I'm sorry, Dakota.
Right, okay, that actually makes sense. No, I never knew that.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but they don't have to make a figure though. They just have to use a name, like on packaging or anything like that. I mean, that's what Mattel does. They just put it on the boxes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little odd. Like I've heard it both ways. That you know you can get the rights for the name as a show character, or as a toy. Like those are two separate rights that you have to purchase.
Yep.
So, I mean, the likelihood of Masterpiece Beast Wars, and I have no idea how long that they own that particular license. I mean, it could be for who knows for another 5-6 years, and at that point in time, maybe Masterpiece will at that point be you know there as far as getting into some of that. But again, it's like it literally the same as the whole Masterpiece line, what it is today. I mean. I don't think the whole classics line had any effect on that. It was it's just there to, like Josh said, keep the names, and it's really geared towards adult collectors that are on a budget, and maybe want to get their kids into it or whatever.
It gets the kids into it, I think, because like my son would never know anything about G1 if I didn't collect G1. I could show him the cartoons if I had them. You know, and stuff like that, which I do, but he would never, like, we watch the G1 cartoons, and he's gonna like, oh, I want a Sideswipe. Well, I'm not gonna go buy him a G1, you know, Sideswipe. Yeah. I go buy him a Classics or a Jugline or, you know, something like that, but I'm just surprised that the formula back in the 80s was cartoon, toy line. Cartoon, toy line, they always went with each other. Now, with this whole Chug line, you would think that maybe Hasbro would want to create a show around the Chug line and showcase it and, you know, reinvent.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Just, I mean, because look at all the stuff we have in the Chug line. I mean, there is a ton of characters. All the G1, you know, original, you know, 83, 84 characters are all there. You know, we got characters that we never got, like Thunder, Thunderwing, Black Shadow, or whatever they call him, Straxus, stuff like
And
that.
then how many other different lines have come and gone, but the Chug line is still around?
Yeah, keeps going. But I'm not sure why they don't put a series around it.
Well, what would be funny is if they did something like that, and then here you have like 7 different dudes all roll up in the jazz mold, and we're like, dude,
That would be
look, I told you that I was scanning this particular car. Why are like 7 to 8 of you dudes like scan the same thing?
All right.
If they made
You
it
wanna be
funny
like
like
the
that,
Seekers,
then
man.
that'd be awesome.
The Autobot Seekers, they use the jazz mold.
Because we don't have enough data to contain the scan information, so we just share it. Yeah. Can I borrow that mold? Sure, why not?
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. But again, Hasbro doesn't do anything that resembles anything about like what fans would want. They don't give a crap. They give us the toys, but they don't give us any other type of like, hey, give us a good show. Like we've talked about this tons of times. Why not give us a direct-to-video animated movie? Something. Anything. You have the Hub Network. Build something on that stinking channel that you actually own. You know, it shouldn't be that hard. But they don't.
I'm caught up, dude. I've rewatched every episode of Step by Step, so I mean, you can take that off now and put something else on.
I haven't actually watched the Hub since Prime, since the last episode of Prime.
Yeah, same with me. Nothing really on there.
Can't watch over here in the UK.
You can't?
No.
But
nowhere
didn't
in
Transformers
Europe
Prime
you
come
can
on
watch
Cartoon
it.
Network over there?
Say it again?
Didn't Transformers Prime come on Cartoon Network over there?
On really screwy times, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's Cartoon Network, but yeah.
Interesting. The only thing I look
I
forward to
mean-
watching is Nicktoons
I
Turtles.
mean, it's been 20 years. Why don't you just get somebody to dub the Japanese series and, or maybe finally air that in-betweener that they actually showed where it kind of links up, sees the end of season 2 with the beginning of the movie.
Scramble City?
Yes, where you actually see them on the construction of Metroplex, and you see Optimus and Ultra Magnus on screen at the same time.
Yeah. You get to see the combiners interact
Combiners,
with each
yes.
other and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would be nice. It just seems like Takara would be the one to do something good. I mean, the Robot Masters little DVD inserts in their packaging was, I think, a good take. I like the story behind it. It's just,
Yeah.
no one cared.
The Go stuff was really cool, too. I really enjoyed the Go episodes.
But who knows? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nope.
I can think of.
I got a question. If they were to do a masterpiece Galvatron, who would you want to size with? MP10 Optimus and Rodimus? I assume they're going to be the same size, or scale them to go against Ultra Magnus.
I'd want them by like Ultra Magnus size, just a tad bit bigger.
Tad bit
Yeah,
bigger?
it'd have to be.
Yeah.
You look cool. Okay, but how about you, Josh? You're the Galvatron fan.
I'd want him slightly bigger than Rodimus. So he's right in between that Ultra Magnus and Rodimus.
Okay.
You want him shorter than Ultra Magnus?
I mean, it wouldn't be that much shorter. I mean, what are you talking about? Half an inch?
I don't know.
Well, Magnus
Because
does.
his main dude that he's facing off with is Rodimus, which he should be a bit taller, maybe a head taller than Rodimus.
Yeah.
So.
Should you have Cyclonus then, if they ever make him as tall as Ultra Magnus? Because don't they take on
They
a challenge
battled.
to
They
create a
were
lot.
the ones that battled it out quite a bit. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Cyclonus being a little bit bigger because how else are you going to fit Galvatron inside his cockpit like we saw in the movie?
True.
Yeah, that was strange. I guess there was always kind of one of the telltale signs that either the artists or the toy makers, there's a miscommunication somewhere between them, because that Galvatron looked nothing like the guy that was on the film, and then he was scaled to fight Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
He could have fought Rodimus Prime. Could have. Tall enough, right?
Oh, the toy was tall enough to fight Metroplex, too.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you really wanted.
He was supposed to be, quote unquote, the Decepticon city commander, but he was every bit as big as Tripticon.
Yeah. Would have been kind of cool if they could have done some type of fusion with Tripticon and have like Galvatron in his like gun mode attached to Tripticon as like a huge shoulder cannon or some weird thing.
I'm sure there's a fan mode somewhere out there for it.
But
quick little thing, Cybercast is now live in video form.
Sweet.
Cool.
So anyone who made it an hour and 44 minutes in, they're gonna know.
Damn right.
So, anything else, guys?
Nope.
Got nothing.
All right. So we'll just probably end it because it's been almost close to 2 hours. So, thank you to all the live viewers for watching us. Really do appreciate. And hopefully you guys can join us again next week at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Yeah, that's about it. So, if you guys want to out yourselves, starting off with Trans 5.
Trans 5 at Twitter.
Punk?
Punk Wiley at YouTube.
Josh?
You can find me G1Hextron on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, the G1Hextron.
And Jay?
Follow me on Twitter at NemesisJazz13.
And Dakota?
PrimalSabbath everywhere.
And Chris?
You can find me Barrett Prime Games on YouTube, Facebook, and Barrett Prime on any game. Just look at and see if I'm there.
Okay. And I'm James. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, VictorySaber77. Also check out our website, www.CybercastNetwork.com. Follow us on Twitter, CybercastNet, and check out our Facebook page. Like us there. Also, our topic show, Dakota, Tuesday, 6:30 Central Standard Time.
Yes.
What's our topic?
I do, but I'll save it as a surprise for everyone else. I'll let you guys know because
All right.
we do it and all the show.
Okay. Well, check us out on Tuesday at 6:30. Hopefully, we will be on our Cybercast Network YouTube channel. We had some difficulty last week, but we should be back in business. So, thanks again for watching, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, just follow on Twitter and Facebook, and that way, if it's not on the correct channel, then you can find out that way.
Yes.